Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Umineko. Um,
Hi.
it's been a long
It's been a
time.
it's
Um,
been a while.
Instead of giving direct dates, all I'm gonna say is that between last time we recorded and now, I've played every single Dragon Age game.
To be fair, you've been playing them a lot.
I have been playing them a lot. You're right. To be fair, I have been playing them a lot. But still,
Speaking of Dragon Age, don't you think don't you think canon is kind of a Fenris?
yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it. You're right. You're right. Actually, I see it.
Yeah,
Meryl is kind. Shannon's kind of Meryl.
I was gonna say that too.
Is Battler
That's
Hawk?
I think that I think that in terms of personality, he'd be most similar to like Varric.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
But not but like they're fairly different.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into a massive Dragon Age tangent, because we both love Dragon Age. Me and Rena, we love Dragon Age so much.
Yeah.
Rena's the
I
one.
have I have a love-hate relationship with it, but
Valid. Rena's the one that got me into Dragon Age.
yeah.
So I associate it with Rena a lot. So that's why I have.
Yay.
That's why I have good memories of it.
Yay.
All right. Now let's continue. Oh, what happened last time? Um.
I'm not the one to ask.
Oh, right. All right. So I remember where we left off now. Apparently,
Mhm.
Beato is it's we left off where Beato is bringing George to bring Shannon back to life, and Ava Beatrice is about to fucking invade the guest house. I think that's where we left off. Like I
Okay.
like I said, it's been a while since we last recorded. The guest house lobby was wrapped in silence. The strings of tension binding Kraus, Natsui, and Eva had already loosened, and they were completely worn out, with their minds beginning to waver. Every once in a while, they would stand up and walk around pointlessly, as though fighting their drowsiness. Are you okay, Eva-san? If anything happens to Natsui during this recording, I'm gonna be very upset. Please, take it easy and rest.
I told you I'm fine. The three of us are now the only adults. There's no time to rest. No matter what the cost, we must guard this place until the end.
She spoke bravely. She couldn't hide her rough breathing. It seemed that the fever, which had been calmed with medicine for a short time, had returned. It was very obvious that Ava's health was not good.
Take it easy. At least close your eyes. If something happens that you need to be awake for, we will definitely wake you.
And if not, our gunshots definitely will.
I'm telling you, I'm fine. Leave me alone.
It seemed she was already unwilling to budge. Krause and Natsui realized that even if they talked to her anymore when she was like this, they wouldn't reach her ears. So without saying anything more, they decided to let her be. Ava, right now, even having an argument like that would be burdensome. It would probably be better for her body if she just sat there with her mouth closed. In truth, Ava was just a step away from being beaten down by drowsiness. Perhaps she shot back at them with a temper because she was trying to rouse herself and throw off her sleepiness. The clock would be pointing 6 in the afternoon very soon. She'd had several
I mean,
snacks. Huh?
some people are just mean when they're in physical discomfort,
Yeah.
like me.
She'd had several snacks to distract herself from her drowsiness, so she didn't feel hungry. But now, her lack of feet made it feel like it was 6 in the morning, not the afternoon. Even supposing the boat came at precisely 9 in the morning tomorrow, they'd still had more than 12 full hours to go. It was an overwhelmingly long stretch of time. Long, painful, hot. Even the sound of the clock torments my body now. In times like this, when that person puts his hand on my forehead, that the fever fades at once. But that person no longer exists. As Ava's mind grew foggy, she was once again gripped by a deep sadness. She had already cried herself dry. Even so, the sadness of losing her beloved husband had not been exhausted.
I was wrong. What do you mean?
The new witch and Ava were fundamentally the same being. If Ava talked to her, she would always respond.
Thought that if I could gain the possession of the Yoshiromiya family head, that alone would be enough. But then, as soon as I saw that mountain of gold, my greed grew. I was struck by a desire to have that mountain all to myself. That's nothing to be ashamed of. After all, it's your natural right as the Yoshiromiya family head. How could you give up even a bit of it to anyone else? I was gripped by that temptation, which is why you were born. While you are a young girl version of me, at the same time, you are also my self-centered evil heart. Because of my foolish greed sprouted by that mountain of gold. The shell of that egg is my heart cracked. And you were born into this world.
Ava is an egg confirmed?
Yeah. I am responsible for your birth. In that case, when I killed Rosa and Maria, then Rudolph, Kirie, and Hideyoshi, you were responsible for that too. Why did you kill my husband too? Why? Ah!
I wasn't expecting that! Oh, you usually yell quieter. I wasn't expecting you to actually yell.
I don't know. It's a little early, so
Alright.
people are still awake, so I can be a little bit louder.
Hell yeah.
I didn't want to kill Hideyoshi. He was just so annoying and persistent. And that's no, your fault. It's your fault for choosing a husband like that.
I don't. Didn't you specifically not
And
choose?
I don't know. A child like you cannot understand what made that man so wonderful.
It was the dick.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some allusions to something like that.
I mean, yeah. Remember, I think it was earlier in this episode where like Jessica was like, "Oh my god,
Jessica
you gotta tell me how you and Hideyoshi met," and she was like, "Oh, that's not a story for children."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. Ah, the heck? Our dreams were made real with magic, right? We solved the riddle of the epitaph. Then we found the gold and got the head's ring. All of our dreams came fully true, right? What more could you want? Those weren't all of my dreams. What about living a wonderful life with that person, giving George an excellent life? I still have many dreams that haven't come true. As a wife, as a mother. And yet, those are just extra dreams those are just extra dreams you added after becoming an adult. Those aren't my dreams. That's because you're a child. You only care about what's best for yourself. That's right. Everything is my fault. Back then, why did I resist doing what Rosa told me to? Why couldn't I announce to all the siblings that I'd found the gold? It's all because I'm so hideous. My evil heart, which sprouted from my desire to have all that gold for myself, caused you to hatch.
Damn, all it took for Ava to do some self-reflection was for her husband to die? Not even her siblings? Not even her niece? Goddamn.
I mean, yeah, it's... Looks like you really hate me. Even though we're both the Shiromiya Eva. No, that isn't true anymore. And it was you who said it. I am Ushiromiya Eva, and you are the Golden Witch, Beatrice. So just disappear. Witches are imaginary, illusions that only exist in fairy tales. Things like you should just disappear. Never appear in front of me again.
She's saying all this out loud, and Kraus and Natsui are like, uh, should we do something?
Yeah, you're right. I understand. I'll disappear from in front of you. And I'm no longer Ushiromiya Eva. From now on, I'm the Golden Witch, Beatrice. So now I can play however I want.
Oh fuck, Ava, what did you do?
I don't even care about you. If only you just give up and die.
After having a very childlike tantrum, the witch, who is who is Ava's inner child, who had once been another Ava, vanished. Only Ava was left behind in the darkness, and she questioned herself.
Me? I killed them? Did I kill that person? Did I kill him?
She could no longer answer that question herself. It seemed that, half asleep, she had gotten some saliva cut in her windpipe just as she was dozing off. Ava
Yeah,
suddenly
probably 'cause she was talking
Ava suddenly started
to
coughing.
herself. Sorry.
I love you.
I love you too. Yay, yippee. Are you okay, Eva? Please, Natsuhi, some water.
Yes.
I'm fine, okay? I just choked a bit.
Ava pushed away Natsui's hand as she tried to rub her back, and unsteadily rose to her feet.
Well, I'm going to go wash my face. Sorry, I fell asleep. When I get back, I'll make some more coffee.
Where'd her gun go?
Extra strong so that I won't get drowsy until tomorrow morning.
Her gun transformed into her fan.
Yes, please do. Your coffee is more to my taste than what Goda makes.
Do you want to? Okay, I guess. Alright, fuck it. Speak ill the dead all you want, I guess.
He's a servant, doesn't matter. And not like one of the beloved ones, you know?
He's like the one that no one really
This
cares
is some
about.
guy. He's the new hire. Like, he is literally the new hire. They don't care that much about him. Nobody likes him. I'm glad to hear it, even if it's flattery. I'll be back soon.
Ava exited the lobby, heading for the bathroom. Also, Natsui watched over her frail back. Okay. So, you sometimes do show concern for Ava-san, even though you've always been so much at odds with her.
Isn't this how an older brother is supposed to be?
Yes.
Kraus, I don't think so.
It's very, yeah, Kraus. Isn't this how an older brother's supposed to be? Very antagonistic toward the rest of his family.
Maybe that's just what Kinzo taught him.
Yeah, probably. Yes, I believe you're right.
It isn't just Ava. There's Rudolph and Rosa, too. Instead of acting like an older brother to them, all I ever did was speak arrogantly and bully them. In my own way, I was frantic in my desire to be like father. But I could never match up, and I always vented my feelings on them. But that's no excuse. I probably gave Ava scars so deep that they still have not healed. I regret it, but even if I apologized after all this time, it would do nothing to heal those wounds.
I mean, it wouldn't make the wounds worse.
So I'm just gonna keep being mean to her.
If you hold on to that feeling, instead of only letting it last for this moment, I'm sure your siblings will come to see it sooner or later.
Though by now, Ava is the only sibling I have left.
If only you and your siblings hadn't been born into the Usuromiya family, you might have had a more normal, a more fun sibling relationship.
You mustn't say that. Ava will probably continue to hate me her whole life. And she has a right to. I intend to resign myself to that fact and accept it.
Here.
Ava, I'm sorry. Of course, you don't have to forgive me.
Shit!
Of course I won't forgive you. What are you talking about after all this time? Oh, so now you're feeling guilty. If only you just give up and die right now. Do it, Chester sisters.
Wait, shit, who's who? Oh, fuck.
Y'all, I have an idea for an OC. Hear me out. Character named Chester 420.
Hell
It is
yeah.
just Chester 410, but with green hair. And she
And
smokes weed.
all right, you're 45. Okay.
Okay. 45. Firing permission received. Reconfirming firing arc, correcting for weather discrepancies. Data link to 410.
I don't think we ever settled on an actual voice for 410.
No, I don't think we did.
Fuck. What voice should I do? This is like probably the third conversation we've had about this. Fuck, what's a good voice?
Any of them, I guess. I don't know.
Fuck. I just do my Sonic voice. I do my Solid Snake voice. 410, data received, firing permission confirmed. How's that?
Yeah.
Firing! I don't even know what this voice is. Together, the sisters released the magical bowstring they had readied. A beautiful tail trailed behind the gold arrow, and it drove a lovely curve as it flew. It was just like a gold snake. it skillfully avoided a grove of trees and flew towards the front door of the guest house. It knocked politely, then it flew into the keyhole of the door and snuck into the guest house without any problems at all. The gold snake raced down the hall smoothly, yet as fast as an arrow. Right before it was the door to the lobby. When it flew into the keyhole, Kraus and Natsui were already... For an instant, Kraus thought he saw a gold-colored sparkle in the keyhole on the door. However, at the same time as he strained his neck to see what it was, that sparkle bent like a whip and attacked, wrapping itself around Kraus's neck. Just looking at it, the gold snake seemed very supple, however as though a wire had tightened around Kraus's neck. And while that snake choked Kraus, it extended even more, and also tightened around Natsuhi's neck. Without even a chance to scream, eyes bulged as they went into convulsions, and then collapsed.
"45, hit and kill confirmed. Formulating towing curve, revising capture points. Data link to 410.
410 data received. Initiating corpse towing. We got them both. And he. Gold Snake began to drag Kraus and Natsui's bodies back. They slipped through the door to the corridor, dragging the bodies, gradually increasing in speed, and rapidly pulled them outside the guest house. But the lobby was silent, as though nothing had happened. As though Kraus and Natsui had not been there since the beginning. Only the sound of the wind and the rain remained, as if they were playing dumb and pretending to be the only ones there.
Sorry, I'm fine now. I'll go make some coffee.
Eva returned from the bathroom, but no one was in the lobby. How far into the fucking... I was about to say the sacraments. I'm thinking of Silent Hill 4.
I'm thinking of Catholicism, to be honest.
Alright, so Kinzo and the servants. Alright. So how far? Alright. So Kinzo and the servants are the first Twilight. Second Twilight, Rosa and Maria. Third, doesn't matter. Fourth, fifth, and sixth were Kirie, Rudolph, and Hideyoshi. Alright, these are the last two. We're in the end game. Even though they had supposedly been in that sofa until the moment she had choked and gone to the bathroom, they were gone, as if they'd been an illusion from the very beginning.
Oh, careless of them. Why did those two go off together? Together?
Eva put her hand on the sofa as though acting out a scene from a detective novel. She felt a warmth that meant they had been sitting there until a short while ago. Maybe they went to do the rounds or something. For the time being, Eva sat down and waited for their return.
Oh, my hand just cramped up.
Oh no!
My neck is really sore, so I'm trying to put oil on it.
Beato and George could be seen in the parlor of the mansion. George was kneeling near Shannon's body as though praying. His face was serious. There was even sweat on his forehead. However, Beato was the same. Now that she handed her name over, most of her previous power had been lost. Of course, she still had more than enough power to be called a witch, but compared to the past, it was a very faint thing.
God, don't talk to her. Don't touch her with your hand. Call to her with the voice of your heart, and seek her with the hand of your heart. Only your strong feelings can make my magic reach Shannon's lost soul.
George kept praying earnestly and silently. He kept frantically yelling inside his heart, trying to call back the soul of the person he loved.
George noises.
He strongly envisioned his soul leaving his body and searching for her as she wandered through the land of the dead. Beato turned that strong force into magical power that supplemented her own magic. This was magic that, in the past, she could have performed easily without anyone's help. But now, if she didn't rely on someone's assistance, she wouldn't be able to finish the chant, much less succeed.
I'd forgotten for several centuries. Was magic, was resurrection, always this difficult?
Beato was wearing an even more strained expression than George. It had slipped her mind, but originally, the magic to revive a life was the ultimate hidden art. The abnormal thing was her previous magical power, which could be used over and over with a snap of her fingers. But the heavy burden on her body and mind was, fundamentally speaking, extremely natural.
However, with this man's power, even though he doesn't know magic, it's nothing to be laughed at. I see, so he truly is Kinzo's grandchild.
The strong energy pouring from George was large enough to act as magical power. At first, Beato thought it must be the blood of Kinzo, the sorcerer. However, that probably wasn't it. She had a feeling that Battler had already told her what it was. It had been born from the power of George's sadness at the death of the person he loved, and from the way he had tried his hardest throughout his life. From the warm time spent together with Shannon, the size of the dream they swore to protect in the future. Is it really possible for humans to take life so seriously, even though they only have a single one? It was only natural. For a life, a life didn't mean anything more than the difference between the top and bottom of an Othello piece. If the black represented death, then all you had to do was flip it over again and make it white. However, it was just like that broken vase. The humans in a world without magic, where they cannot return things to their original form, it is very, very natural for them to bet their life and soul.
So, is an endless witch who can do as she pleases with life and death, inferior to a limited human who can't even surpass the mountain of death?
This time, the witch acknowledged it. He was able to hold a magical power that could never reside in witches, who didn't understand the value of a life. Why does this thing called the Endless Magic exist? Even though I call myself the Endless Witch, did I forget what an endless magic means for 1,000 years? She looked at George's expression again. His surging earnestness was like a lightning bolt. Right now, even if George's body had been burned or smashed by a waterfall, he would probably continue to pray for his beloved without minding it, without noticing it. For the first time, he showed respect for that power. So that, in that instance, all magical resistance was lost, and the enormous power of George's feelings turned into magical energy in its complete form. The vase was very beautiful, rich with history and value. Even as young as I was, it still forced me to take a deep breath when I witnessed its beauty. But that just made me want to touch it. The vase easily fell and smashed into pieces, like a bubble that had popped.
The toucher.
It felt as though the time it possessed a form had been just an illusion. Lives are just that, fragile. That easily lost. I realized that my foolish curiosity had led to something that couldn't be undone. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, the smashed vase wouldn't return back to its original form. A lost life will not return to normal no matter what happens. I was frightened that, even though my actions had been thoughtless and careless, they had stolen away a life that could never be revived again. Then, I pitied that lost life and cried. I was frightened of myself, the one responsible for its loss, and cried even more. I'm sure Grandfather will also cry at the loss of his precious vase. I'm sure that all the people who love Grandfather and see him like that will cry. With the loss of a single life, the whole world can be filled with so much sadness. I cried even more at how terrible that was. Beatrice appeared and spoke.
Then, my lady, let us revive that vase with magic. If that will make everyone happy, the vase and the magic and the spirits will happily lend you their power and return it to its original form.
Come, milady.
Come, my lady.
Oh,
Close your eyes and chant with me.
I don't remember this part from Butterfly.
From what?
It's a song called Butterfly. It's a good song. The chorus is "Come, my lady, come, come, my darling," or something like
Oh,
that.
that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't remember. Oh, I was watching The Boys, and one of the characters was playing that while he worked,
Hell yeah.
and someone else, one of the other characters insulted that character's music taste. I thought it was really funny because the only context I know that song from is being around you.
It's a good song.
It is a good song, but it's funny.
It's very, it's very, it's very future score. It's called,
That's funny.
it's called Butterfly, and what does she turn into?
Sorry. It's just really funny. Okay, come, try closing your eyes and try to remember. What form did you have? It was surely a very, very beautiful form.
Now's not the
Please
time
show
to
me
be
that
flirting with
form one more
Shannon.
time. Please show me that form one more time. To be fair, I think she can flirt with Shannon however much she wants.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you know what? Yeah. Those words of power knocked forcefully on the door to the land of the dead. The magic of her old self had performed that same forceful knock. However, doing it that way was horribly violent and earned the displeasure of the peacefully sleeping dead. But this time was different. It was very forceful and yet gentle and loving. The dead near the door opened their eyes and called out to the others that there was a voice calling for someone to come back. Someone get the fucking door! God damn, I'm trying to sleep over here! The sadness of that voice calling from the outside touched the hearts of the dead, and, trying to respond as quickly as possible, they searched for Shannon's lost soul. And then, they found it. They found the casket in which Shannon was peacefully sleeping. It truly was Shannon's soul, sleeping in the land of the dead. Inside the casket that was covered with rose flowers, frozen with frost, she was sleeping in peace. The dead silently lifted the casket up. Well, at a glance, it looked like a funeral march. It had the complete opposite meaning. It was solemn, but filled with joy. The long-forgotten dead were made to remember that they were loved after their deaths, and they were all given a warm sense of peace. Then, as though guided by a warm light from the heavens, Shannon's body floated up out of the casket. The dead watched her go. They squinted at that warm light, offering their respect to this unknown member of the living, who had not lost his love for a person even after their death. Shannon's body was enveloped in the light from the heavens and began to disappear. In the jet-black darkness of the land of the dead, the faint flickering of gold butterflies could be seen. It reminded them of the gentle stars in the night sky, which they had long forgotten.
Whoa.
Ugh.
Did anyone else see that? Sorry, I'm getting extra silly with it.
George remembered being told that he must not say anything, and he hurriedly covered his mouth. Homie's, oh shit, is he gonna get fucking Orpheus and Eurydice? Oh no! However, it felt like
I'm pretty sure there's a comparison to those two in Umineko somewhere, right?
there has to be. However,
I'm pretty sure there is one. I I I can remember it. I feel like I can remember it unless I'm just thinking of something else.
however, It felt like his heart was trying to jump into his throat, because he had seen Shannon's eyelids shake slightly. Then, those eyelids slowly opened. Shannon's eyes were there, but they were still wrapped in the fog of the land of the dead. However, the human world's warmth, no, her lover's warmth, who had called her soul, slowly dissolved that fog, and her eyes gradually regained their sparkle. Then, her eyes moved, and recognized George.
George, son?
Her lips shook weakly. Shannon definitely said that. The words were very faint, so much so that they normally wouldn't have reached his ears. However, George clearly heard them. He heard the person he cared for, his fiancée, one he loved most and who should have been dead, call his name once again. Shannon! Shannon! You know who I am?
George, son, is this a dream?
No, this isn't a dream. Come here, come see here. Even if I pinch you, you won't. Even if I pinch you, you won't wake up. As George said that, he softly pinched Shannon's cheek. Shannon slumped over dead. It was how George had always responded in the past, when Shannon had been surprised by something and had asked if she was dreaming. When Shannon felt the warm touch of George's finger on her cheek, and when George realized that the warmth of the living had already returned to his beloved person's cheek, they both cried. What words should a pair of lovers separated by death celebrate with when they are reunited? The words of the human world are not enough. In short, they had no need of the words of this world. George had simply hugged Shannon, who was sitting up, without talking. Shannon's strength was still feeble, and putting her arms around George's back took all she had. So George hugged her tightly to make up for that. Stop each other from going once more to a place the other's hand couldn't reach. They hugged each other so tightly and yet so gently. Shannon's fingers curled around George's back. On her ring finger, the engagement ring George had given her definitely shone. The strong glint certainly wasn't just the sparkle of a diamond. There definitely was a magical power that only the two lovers could possibly feel. It was because that strong light existed, they had been able to find her casket in the land of the dead. It was just like, oh, thank Christ! Maybe now Battler won't be mad at me. Beato understood.
Billy.
The ring, no. The feelings of the pair, embodied in that ring, were a miracle made real. In that moment, George definitely used magic. Beato had done nothing more than help him along. That magic had a power that could only reside in those who knew of the importance of life, who knew what it meant to try with all one's might. It was the power of a miracle, one that the endless witch couldn't possibly know of. A miracle that only the power of the finite could give rise to. By now, she had no choice but to accept it. She had to accept that true magic, true magical power, exists in the place furthest away from she who called herself a great witch.
Beatrice, Sama.
She brought you back to life! After you killed me! It's just like, fully brings it up. Thank you, Beatrice!
No, I did nothing. What revived Shannon was your magical power.
It's paining her to admit this.
It was your magic. You should owe me a blood, which makes miracles come true. Surely saw you through. George's son revived me? Indeed. It was an incredible display of magical power, one that I could not hope to compete with. So, I'm still nothing more than an apprentice.
She's so pissed off about this. Oh, fuck. Can't wait for George and Shannon to appear in the guest house. And fucking Ava has a goddamn panic attack. Oh my god, she's alive!
Now I finally know my place.
Beato staggered backwards. Her physical strength was clearly exhausted. She had humbly said that George's power alone had revived Shannon, but Beato had also used all of her magical and physical strength. And she reflected upon how difficult it was to revive a single life, something she'd been able to play around with however she wanted to in the past. The couple kept on embracing each other tightly. By doing that, those feelings that couldn't be communicated with a billion words were shared. Thank you, Beatrice. Me and your dad. I don't think so, actually. She killed Shannon in the first place. I think your debt's been... I think you're good. I think your debt's been cleared.
Thank you very much, Beatrice-sama. I'll never forget the debt I owe you for bringing me to George again.
Did you forget that she killed you? Well, I mean, technically... I guess technically... Fucking... What's his name?
Genji?
Genji. Technically, Genji killed her, but still. Like...
Stop that. Being thanked by a pair of lovers is far too embarrassing for the one who has been feared as a monster of a person. Don't worry about me. Celebrate your reunion together to the fullest.
Beato, who was leaning with her back against the wall, slid down the wall and sat. How many centuries had it been since she last grew this tired from using magic? I probably haven't been this tired since the first time I succeeded in magic. Didn't teacher praise me at that time? Oh, but didn't I kill that same teacher who praised me? Don't be so naive, Beatrice. Isn't that what killing means? What?
Finally. It seems you've finally remembered how to use magic. My head feels parched and suffocated, and I can't even remember. More importantly, didn't I kill you? You shouldn't be appearing. You are allowing me to live even now. That is why I can appear like this. However, I did not come just to pat your head. Wait, can you go back? Was that...
Yeah, you didn't miss anything.
Okay. Did you come to sneer at how pathetic I am? Anyway, if I have my head patted by a retired witch, after all that's happened, the other witches will laugh at me. That's right. According to your bragging, you are not only a full adult, but a retired one. And yet only now have you learned how to use magic. That certainly does sound too embarrassing to tell anyone.
I'm gonna tell Butler.
Yeah, tell me about it. Keep it a secret, okay, teacher?
Beato gazed at the couple hugging each other with a sense of pleasant despondency.
Love, is it? I'm no match. 45, data received.
Oh fuck, no!
Preparation concluded. Ammo type selected and loaded.
Oh my god! 410, firing! Hee. The gold snake arrow flied by the Chesters. Or Chester, whatever. Heaved its way through the... Oh fuck, bushes, weaved its way through the hedges. And climbed the stone steps towards the mansion. Oh my god, stop aiming for the keyhole. It weaved through the corridors. And flew into the keyhole in the door to the parlor! It happened in an instant. You could hardly blame Beato, who was completely worn out, not noticing beforehand. Right before Beato's eyes, the golden snake flew through the keyhole, surrounded the two lovers, and pierced the two hearts in the blink of an eye. Oh, fuck! Furthermore, the gold snake faithfully pierced a hole through Shannon's chest once more. 2 hearts were pierced by that gold snake. No, by that gold sewing thread, the new brutal witch's furniture. And it happened in an instant, mocking the amount of effort it'd take to revive Shannon. Oh, fuck! Before Beato's shocked eyes, the two fell over and landed on the floor.
George. Shannon.
Thank you, Beatrice. Letting us meet, even just for a short while. Thank you. Thor spent his last breath thanking Beato and died alongside the one he loved. The gold snake, which still sewed the two in place, spun like a large cyclone, revolving around the inside of the parlor. Oh fuck! Beato, you gotta get the fuck out of there! It was searching for further prey in that room. Then, the tip of that snake made Beato's gaze. Oh fuck! In that instance, Beato was prepared to die. No! At that moment, Virgilia stood in front of her, the fingers of both her hands drawing a seal. Or? Instantly, gold-colored leaf buried the inside of the parlor. It was like a blizzard of gold. Oh, fuck!
Beato, run while you can. No one can escape from the Chester's golden bow.
410, target lost! Yeah, it's magical chaff! Oh, I know about chaff. I've played the Metal Gear games.
What's that?
It's just like a distraction thing. It fucks with electronics.
45. Roger that. Modifying search algorithm. Switching to anti-personnel image-based tracking. Target lock reacquired. Data link to 410.
410, data received. Too slow, Princess System. You're too slow. Coming. Backed. Prey targeted by the Chester's.
Oh, an isopod.
What?
I saw an isopod.
Oh, sick. Prey targeted by the Chester sisters' golden bow did not escape. It could not be blocked. No magical barrier could even dream of blocking it without being multi-layered. The gap opened during the instant of confusion caused by Virgilia's deception magic. Was Beato's only chance to escape. And it was only chance to make the sisters No! To confuse Virgilia for Beato! Oh, Virgilia! As Virgilia spread her arms wide, blocking the way to her beloved disciple, the gold snake pierced straight through her heart. No! After sneaking into the keyhole, the snake shot through George, Shannon, and Virgilia in an instant, completely failing to notice Beato as she used that instant to escape. What the fuck? As soon as Virgilia saw that Beato had gotten away, she died. The strength left her body, and like gold dust drifting with the wind, her form was erased. Beato completely erased all traces of her magical power. Became gold butterflies and passed through the wall, escaping to the wind and rain outside.
Damn it. You bitch.
Are we gonna get a Beato battler team up to kick the ass out of a middle school girl? Beato felt regret from the bottom of her heart. Why? Because she'd been attacked by the new witch? Or not. Or she hated losing her teacher. And even more importantly, Beato was enraged at the barbarism that had partially stolen away the reunion between two lovers. Beato had poured out almost all of her magic power to reunite them. Even though the result had been a miracle, the time it took to steal that away had been so ridiculously short. Beato trembled at the barbarous cruelty that had brought about such an abrupt end. Besides, this was a true form of the act she herself had committed up until that point. So just as strongly as Beato hated the new witch, she also looked at her previous self with disgust. Character growth! Fucking Battler's watching from the tea room like he's watching the fucking footage of 9/11. Oh fuck, they hit Virginia! But now, she had to escape. If she was targeted next, she would probably lose her life. Think that a chess player had descended, and they were like a god, only to be attacked by the pieces.
Hi. I realized I was muted. I just said, by the way, it's 9:14, just for context.
Okay. Oh,
Like,
right. Oh,
the
right.
date.
The date. It's 3 days after 9/11. Okay, I was so confused.
45. Impact confirmed. Target scattered. Without a doubt, we crushed the predecessor Sama.
looks like our pile of kill medals is gonna get bigger again. Yeah.
What was that about loving couples? You get to enjoy tearing the two apart by death, reuniting them, and then tearing them apart again, right? I'm gonna be honest. I kind of understand how she feels when I'm talking about writing.
What?
When I'm talking about writing, I love torturing characters. I love writing horrible things happening. Especially like with couples, I like to torment them. I like when characters go through shit together.
In the context of your fictional writing.
Yes.
Oh fuck.
I don't know, people are just fascinating to me.
I love you.
I love you too. Yippee.
Oh,
And along with that, I get to say goodbye to that damn fussy old hag. Ronave, you don't have any complaints, right?
I have a fucking mountain of them. I do not, Beatrice Sama. I do not, I can't do his voice. I need a bigger line for him to get back into his voice.
That person interfered with the ceremony of the witch's epitaph, you see. She revived a sacrifice from the first twilight without permission, obstructing my ceremony. She's got no right at all to complain. But it sucks that she didn't leave a corpse behind. And I thought I'd be able to torture that old hag to death over and over and again endlessly.
It pans to the fucking room where fucking Battler and Jessica are, and Battler's just so. Wanna like play cards or
Oh,
something?
hell yeah, I love this song.
Oh yeah, no, this song fucks.
No, I'm familiar with the song and I love it. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting to hear it again. I'm pretty sure it has a polyrhythm. Sorry, I'm kind of autistic.
No, it's okay.
A polyrhythm is when a song has two time signatures at once.
Oh fuck, sick.
Anyways, George did. No, I didn't see him. When did he come down?
When, you say? What hour is that again? I think it's probably about 4 or 5. At the very least, it was more than an hour ago. We got sleepy, and probably dozed off after that. But I think it's probably like Jessica says, about 1 or 2 hours ago. Oh, fuck, Nanjo's still here! I forgot! I forgot about my guy Nanjo!
I also remember something from around that time. I was asked if I wanted more coffee.
Something hard to believe had happened. Apparently, when Aunt Ava had left for a second to wash her hands, Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuki had disappeared. There's no way they went hiding somewhere. Of course, doors and windows had all been rigorously checked and were all locked from the inside. Not one of them was broken. And that wasn't just true for the first floor. The second floor was the same. First floor. Again, all the doors and windows had locks built in a way that made it impossible to lock them from the outside. In other words, there was no way that Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsui had gone outside. And yet they couldn't be found. Furthermore, they weren't the only ones who had disappeared. So had George Aniki, of all people. George Aniki had left saying he was going to get more coffee, and had gone downstairs more than an hour earlier. He assumed that he was having a conversation with Aunt Ava and the rest. But Aunt Ava, who had been in the lobby the whole time, said that no one had come down. Because all the doors and windows were locked from the inside. It was unthinkable that they had gone outside. However, 3 humans had evaporated from this barricaded guest house, which had become a perfect closed room. In a situation like this, we couldn't imagine that this was because they were playing hide and seek and trying to scare us with a prank. It was probably reasonable to assume that they'd been caught up in this crime. When Aunt Ava had learned that her only son was missing, she had gone half insane, running from room to room and yelling his name. Jessica, who suddenly lost both of her parents, had chased after her. Cries of George, George, and Mom, Dad have continued to echo through the guest house for some time. Meanwhile, fucking Nanjo and Battler are just enjoying a cup of coffee together, I guess. I think George said something about wanting to see Shannon's dead face. It would be reasonable to assume that he snuck out of the guest house and went to the mansion. But I didn't have a clue about Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuki. They see him leave and then go to the mansion to search for him? Without telling Aunt Ava? At this rate, it's only a matter of time before we start planning to leave the guest house to go search for them. When that time comes, I'll agree. We thought staying holed up in the guest house would be safe, which was why our big, happy group of 12 people locked themselves up here this morning. And yet, now there's only 4 of us left. That means staying here is no guarantee of safety. However, there's one thing we can't afford to forget. All the doors and windows were locked from the inside. This is a closed room. How did they manage to vanish from this place? We searched around thoroughly. However, we couldn't find any traces of someone hiding. The 3 of them had almost certainly been taken outside the guest house.
I wonder how it was done. You don't think there might be something like a hidden door?
A hidden door?
Doors and the windows were built in a way that makes them impossible to lock from the outside. Even using a fishing line, it would be impossible with the way they're constructed. So it may be reasonable to assume they left via something other than a door or a window.
You're right. That does make logical sense. No one can be sure that no hidden door exists. However, before leaping to that conclusion, I suspect a much simpler possibility.
And what would that be?
Sometime, Tyler had been opening windows, opening shutters, and checking outside, repeating this for each window. This window's pretty quiet. I see. Unlike the other windows, because of how this building's shaped, the wind doesn't blow into this one.
It appears that way. Still strange without wind or rain comes in, even though there's so much of it outside.
I love the idea of Nanjo and Battler being a fucking Sherlock and Watson detectives duo.
That would be a great turn.
That'd be a fucking amazing. Sure, Nanjo. When I opened the window, Nanjo's a doctor just like Watson!
Holy shit.
Oh my god! Dr. Nanjo, when I opened the window just now, did you hear a sound?
Huh? No, I did not notice it. I believe it is well oiled.
In other words, it's possible to slink through a window in the hallway when no one is looking. Furthermore, wind doesn't blow in through this window. The air pressure wouldn't cause the curtains or door to make a sound. It'd be quiet. Battler leaned forward and looked at the ground below. He was searching for some sign that George had jumped down. But at a glance, he didn't see any mark like that on the grass in the middle of the pouring rain. There might also be a window like this on the first floor. It'd be possible to go outside without anyone noticing.
However, not only the doors, but the windows too are all locked. And the shutters are even down as well, correct? It may be possible to go out through them, but we couldn't lock them afterward.
Sure, you can lock them. It's like this. Click. Batter closed the window and locked it. I thought this was perfectly obvious.
Batter-san, you aren't saying...
If someone inside locked it afterwards, it's closed room, it's as easy as pie.
Means... Oh...
Nanjo turned pale and shook his head several times. Because the thing Battler had said had forced him to face a fact that was frightening even to imagine. And that's only if the trick I'm thinking of actually happened, okay? However, with this trick, only a very limited number of people can be suspected. He didn't want to say it in front of Nanjo, but after eliminating Jessica, who'd been with him the whole time, only Nanjo and Ava could have done it.
I did not do shit. I didn't do anything of the sort. I swear it.
In that case, it becomes a battle between Aunt Ava and Dr. Nanjo for an alibi. We just suspect both of you. Saying this with a smile on his face, and confine the two of you separately. Saying the other way around, the more survivors are, the more effective this trick might be. But since our numbers have shrunk so much, it isn't effective at all. No, on the contrary, there'd be a chance of having your own neck strangled by using it. It would have been more advantageous to make it look like a culprit was outside. Intentionally would lower, unlock, or break a window. If this disappearance drama had taken place midday today, I'd be able to claim this theory with full confidence. However, at this stage, I'm not confident at all. What's going on here? What in the world does it mean? In this closed room.
You don't think,
What is it, Dr. Nanjo? Even if it's just a thought, please say it. Nanjo looked like he was trying to swallow his words. Even though he thought of something, so I urged him on. After Dr. Nanjo refused several times, saying that it was just a foolish idea, he finally said it out loud.
Well, don't you think it might actually be the work of the witch?
Ridiculous! No way witches exist.
The witch is trying to make her change to us. Specifically because she's doing things that humans cannot do. She must be trying to make us accept her as a witch. To me, this disappearance from the closed room of the entire guest house feels like that kind of message from the witch. It's not something I must not think of. Surely it cannot mean anything. Oh, I'm frightened.
As Dr. Nanjo shook with fear, it looked like he was trying to erase the fearsome thoughts that he had kept imagining one after the other. When we went downstairs, Aunt Ava and Jessica were enraged, and were each persistent in their desire to leave this place and search for their respective families. It was a desire that naturally hits those who can no longer see their family. Aunt Ava told Dr. Nanjo and me to stay here, but I shook my head and started walking. I've been shut up inside for a long time already. I've started wanting to breathe some outside air. If we're going, let's go quickly. There's no way I'm gonna keep myself shut up in a place like this anymore. Let's go and find Mom, Dad, and George's Nissan right now. The blood had all risen in Jessica's head. I hope it doesn't set off her asthma.
If anyone wants to stay, go ahead and stay. We'll be searching outside.
What about you, Dr. Nanjo? Will you watch this place by yourself?
No, God, no. I'm going to join you.
Rather than holding up in a... I misread that sentence. And for some reason, I thought it was gonna be... rather than holding up in a suggestive guest house, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? God, I'm tired. Rather than holding up in a guest house, whose security was by no means guaranteed. It would be better to enter a danger zone as a group of 4 people. Aunt Ava had a gun. Moving separately from her was almost like asking to be made into the next victim. In this way, the 4 of us decided to leave the guest house. Even though it should have been safe to barricade ourselves here, we lost 8 people after doing so. It looks almost as though this was a holding cell from which the sacrifices could be killed one after another. We removed the chain, unlocked the front door, and opened it. It was already pitch black. While there were some lights outside that dimly lit the pathway, they didn't have enough power to pierce the darkness that some suspicious person might be hiding in.
I'm going. If you fall behind, you're on your own, okay?
Still holding her gun, Aunt Ava dashed out without an umbrella. Jessica followed after her. After glancing at each door, Dr. Nanjo and I chased after them. What in the world is happening in this mansion, on this island? I've been shut up in the guest house with the rest of the cousins since yesterday. I don't know anything about what's going on outside. So what is happening that I don't know about? Outside this room, in the mansion on this island, everything is happening, everything is proceeding, and everything is ending without my knowing it. Somewhere in my heart, I've already started giving up. Most likely, not one of us will see tomorrow morning. When the seagulls cry, nobody will be left alive. Alright?
Hell yeah.
These screens always, these fucking transition screens always take forever. Dad, Mom, what is something like this? Ah! Jessica's woeful voice echoed throughout the rose garden. Perhaps it was the intuition of a person who lived on this island. After checking the part of the rose garden where Aunt Rosa and Maria had fallen and seeing nothing, Jessica went to look in the arbor next. Normally, the arbor was probably a wonderful location to enjoy tea peacefully while appreciating the roses on a good sunny day. Okay, they mean gazebo. Okay. Maybe even Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuhi. The days when they relaxed and enjoyed their tea together here. In the arbor lay their corpses. Where are they? Ah.
Okay, hold on. Ushiromiya Kraus. His corpse was found in the Rose Garden Arbor. The cause of his death is assumed to be strangling with a rope-like object. A stake-shaped weapon was sticking out of his thigh. If only there wasn't that stupid epitaph, I wouldn't have needed a stake. What a pain.
Is the screen share kind of low quality right now?
No, it's just that those words are kind of small.
Ah.
Try to zoom in a little bit.
Ushiromiya Natsuhi. Her corpse was found in the Rose Garden Arbor. The cause of her death is assumed to be strangling with a rope-like object. A stake-shaped weapon was sticking out of her calf. Why do I even have to follow the epitaph in the first place? Is this some kind of game? Yes, actually. Do we have a... Alright, no. I was curious if we had a death screen for Virgilia. At least they aren't drenched in the rain like Aunt Rosa and Maria had been. But there's no way I could say that out loud to Jessica at the moment. What do you think, Dr. Nanjo?
Strangulation, I believe. Come, take a look at this. On their necks there are distinct markings that something thin was used to strangle them.
He really is acting like the Watson to Battler Sherlock right now. Right. I doubt those things were the primary cause for their deaths. Right there, lay 2 stake-like weapons decorated with an occult design, which have been found driven into Uncle Kraus's thigh area and near Aunt Natsuhi's calf. When we found these sticking out of my parents' forehead and chest, we decided to preserve the crime scene and leave them for the police. But Jessica didn't care about such matters and immediately pulled the stakes out of her parents' forsaken bodies.
by now. Bodies gouged in the head, chest, stomach, knee, and leg have been found.
Do you want to, say something, Ava? Maybe that you found the gold, just in case that actually solves everything? Just in case. It might not, but you never know. Ah, damn it, damn it, damn it. Kill that murderer. Kill him. What, a woman can't be a murderer? Ah.
Is this... The 8th twilight has been completed? Is this going to continue on to the 9th twilight? The witch shall be revived, and none shall be left alive.
Bring it on. If the witch revives, that means the culprit is gonna make his grand appearance, right? No one's gonna be left alive? Bullshit. I'll kill him. I'll definitely kill the culprit who killed Dad and Mom with my own hands. Jessica let her emotions flow out as she howled furiously. Avoid being crushed by grief. She could do nothing but resist it with anger.
We still... I haven't found George. Jessica, you children had better stay here. I'll go into the mansion.
Ava-san, we mustn't split up. It's dangerous if we do not all stick together.
There's nothing... There's nothing we can do for Nissan or his wife. But George may be still alive somewhere. I have no time to waste here.
As Aunt Ava screamed this, Jessica glared at her. Ava had no more time to bother about the dead. She was more concerned for the safety of her only son, who had yet to be seen.
Sorry, my cat outside on the balcony, and I can see my cat, jumping up onto the next door neighbor's front porch and climbing on their on their plants. Bro, you're gonna fall. Jessica-chan, you should stay by your father and mother's side. I'll make a short trip to the mansion. Adlerkin and Dr. Nanjo, you two can stay here as well.
After arbitrarily saying this, Aunt Ava rushed out of the arbor. Well, she's dead.
I'm staring at this thing outside.
I called out to stop her, but there was no way she would listen. However, being alone in this situation meant nothing short of death. If we silently watched her leave, it would be the same as letting her die. Since Aunt Ava was unwilling to stop, we had no choice but to follow her. And, while it may be cruel to say so, Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsui were already dead. There was nothing more we could do for them. In the end, we had no choice but to console Jessica and head for the mansion together. Picking up Jessica, I'm like, it's okay, while running after Ava. Fortunately, Jessica stood up. Perhaps she had been able to break free from her grief. But what surfaced in its place was an expression like a demon's. I'll kill that person with my own hands. I'll definitely avenge them. Let's go, Battler. If we find the culprit, don't get in my way. I'm definitely gonna kill them. Shit, girl, you know yeah, I got my own parents to avenge. Sorry, but this is first come, first serve. Oh yeah, your parents died too. Right. Yeah, that's right. Kill them! At my words, Jessica finally seemed to feel like we sympathized with her emotions. It's like, dude, my parents died too. She still had that dark expression, but I felt that Jessica had regained some of her sanity. We took off, chasing after Aunt Ava. Through the rose garden, up the stone steps, running at full speed towards the mansion, whose large, intimidating shadow flashed in the lightning. With this, the murders of the epitaph have reached the 8th twilight, and then, on the 9th twilight, the witch shall revive. None shall be left alive. I'll most likely lose my life. But at the very least, I want to burn the truth into my eyes. That's the only thing motivating to move right now. RP Battler, you would have loved Persona 4. Have I made that joke before? Probably.
Probably.
we were able to meet up with Aunt Ava, who was having trouble with the lock to the front door. It seemed that all the blood had risen to Aunt Ava's head. That was probably making her fingers clumsy. It looked like she couldn't even handle the simple task of inserting the key into the lock. Then, there was a faint sound. Sound of the door unlocking. Just as though it had waited for all the survivors to unite before opening. It felt to me as though the malicious mansion was trying to swallow up all the remaining humans at once. Perhaps the stench that erupted outwards the instant the door opened couldn't be described as just a smell. It wasn't just the charred smell from Grandfather. I think it also may have contained the regrets of the servants and Dad's group. All of the dead. What did it mean as it floated out, overwhelming us? Was it the cry of the dead telling us not to enter? However, Aunt Ava didn't even flinch at something like that. And we, who had to chase after her, were forced to step into the mansion even after receiving that message.
George? George, if you can hear me, answer. George?
Aunt Ava shouted at the top of her lungs. Considering the situation, it's probably far too optimistic to imagine that he's alive. When we started following Aunt Ava's example and calling out George's name in loud voices, Aunt Ava spotted something and stopped walking. Please tell me it's just George's body crucified. He was standing in the front door to the parlor. I think that'd be fucking sick as hell.
What is this? Dr. Nanjo, could you come here for a second?
Why, yes. It seems to be a door. What is
Diagnosis.
I heard about the eerie magic circles written on doors like the one in the parlor from the adults. Eerie is the only word to describe that thing, which was scribbled with deep red paint reminiscent of blood, but it slowly dripped down. However, it had supposedly been there since this morning. Wondering why Aunt Ava, who had supposedly seen it already, would think it odd now, Skin eyes stared at the door.
Certainly. I have no memory of numbers such as these being written here.
Right, they weren't. Airy magical characters were written here, but not numbers.
From what the two of them said, only the magic circle had been there this morning. However, right now, there were 8 digits written near the upper part of the magic circle. 071511129. Okay? Should I remember this series of numbers? Didn't know what it meant, but I didn't even want to imagine what someone had been thinking of when they wrote it. It was drawn with the same paint as the magic circle, but it had clearly been written very recently. What is that, George's social security number? The way it had dried and the condition of the color was completely different from the magic circle part. I'm sure this has some magical meaning. I'm only wasting time thinking about it. It's gonna intentionally spat those words out in an attempt to push aside the eerie feeling it gave off.
It could be a magic square. The idea that a ward against magic can reside in a certain sort of number, certain sort of number play. I believe everyone has heard of the one where adding all the numbers in each row leads to the same sum.
Wasn't that a... Oh wait, sorry.
Wasn't that a group of numbers buried in a rectangle? This is just a single row. I don't have a clue what it could mean. What Jessica-chan said is probably correct. There isn't any point in wasting time thinking about it.
Even though she said that, she probably suspected that it actually meant something. Aunt Ava was definitely writing that number down on an old receipt or something with a short ballpoint pen. Unless it had some obvious pattern, it'd probably be tough to memorize a code made up of an 8-digit number. Could it be a date? Or something?
A date? What are you talking about?
Well, it's probably a coincidence. But my birthday, July 15th. Once I thought 0715 might refer to July 15th, I figured that if 1129 stood for November 29th, maybe that'd fit perfectly. Oh wait, that's me. Why would your birthday be written in a place like this? Wait, shit. Oh, does that mean Balor's a Cancer?
Like the boy? Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Isn't he a Cancer? Isn't that the...
yeah.
Alright, okay. I don't care about horoscopes, I was just curious.
Yeah.
And what's up with November 29th? That's what I want to know. Still, it's probably just a coincidence. When I thought about it, it started to feel a little creepy. What if someone's birthday was November 29th? Now I'm just like, my birthday's November 29th. It's not the birthday of anyone else in my family. Not Dad or Kirie-san or Angie. Of course, it isn't my mom's either. Nothing comes to mind. I don't believe it's Kento-san's or Genji-san's birthday.
It isn't from my family either. And it isn't Rosa's or Maria-chan's.
It can't be anyone in my family. And it isn't Kanan-kun's or Shannon's. It's Boda's! I always give the servants presents on their birthdays, so I know all of them. That's so sweet of you, Jessica! But I don't know anyone who's born on November 29th. It's gonna be Beatrice, isn't it? Once we start imagining that the 8 digits weren't meaningless, but actually 2 dates written together, it really started to look that way. However, its remaining may be something completely different. Or there may be no meaning at all. Anyway, since we don't have any real clues, it's probably pointless to stand around here worrying about it. Inside the parlor is much important. This morning, behind each of the doors, with a magic circle drawn on them, had been the body of a victim. So if something new had been added to this door, that means something new has been added inside the parlor. When Aunt Ava tried to open it, she felt the resistance of the lock. She immediately took out a master key and put it in the keyhole. As soon as she opened the door, Aunt Ava let out a high-pitched scream and ran inside. That alone was enough to tell us what had happened inside the room. Dr. Nanjo and I looked at each other, and I shook my head slightly as we entered the parlor.
George. George. Hang in there. George. Dr. Nanjo, quickly.
George Aniki laid there crumpled alongside Chana-chan's corpse. His chest was stained bright red, and, judging by his still opened eyes, I'd hate to say it, Aunt Ava, but I couldn't pick up any signs of life. Ushiromiya George. His corpse was found in the mansion's parlor. The weapon used on him is assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. In exchange for a soul, the witch gave 8 numbers. 07151129. If you say it, a small golden land will be opened. What? Was there a fucking safe in the fucking... in the golden land? Like where Ava found... Fuck, I don't fucking know. I'm trying to think too hard about these random 8 numbers before I've been given anything about them. After moving to take George...
Sorry, hold on. I have to feed the cat.
Okay.
I'll be back in a minute.
After moving to take George's pulse, Dr. Nanjo shook his head, wordlessly reporting that George was dead. Damn! Pushing him aside, Aunt Ava once again crouched beside George Aniki and started crying at the top of her lungs. With Aniki's death, one thing is certain. The murders hadn't ended on the 8th twilight. The epitaph was being carried out in its complete form, including the 9th twilight, and none shall be left alive. I was really starting to lose track of things. For some reason, Aunt Ava's half-crazed cries actually made me cool down. Should we stop here?
Sure, yeah.
Alright. Alright, we're gonna stop here, unless there's a hard cut. And we're continuing it. It feels like we're really close to the end, but I don't know if we're close enough that it to just do a little bit extra long of an episode. So we're gonna end it here and find out. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Umineko. It's great to be back. We haven't recorded in a long time, and it's really great to be back.
Yeah.
I miss reading this. Thank you so much, and I hope you join us next time. Bye.
Bye.